Conversations. I am Kelsey Brumbold with Nifty Partners Keller Williams.
And I'm Rusty with Mortgages by Rusty.
So we are here today, so sorry, can't talk, at Foxtail Coffee Company, and we're at the Ponte Vedra location. But apparently they do have a ton of locations throughout Florida. I mean, all the way up through Florida. It looks like they started in Orlando, but they have a ton of locations here as well as Georgia.
Yep, single origin coffee. I got a cappuccino this morning.
And I got their pumpkin spice latte hot. It's one of their seasonal menus, and it's kind of cool because, you know, Starbucks has a lot of sugar in theirs, and they were explaining to me inside that theirs is more spices, even though it is sweetened. So really good, just a lot of flavor in it. So yeah, definitely stop on by here. We actually figured out they have ice cream in there as well. So if you need like a sweet treat, and they serve all day breakfast. And it's just a really cool spot. They have some apparel in there and coffee mugs, and just a cool place to check out.
Yeah, and it's in this location's in Sawgrass Village.
Yes,
and we're like catty corner to like Nona Blue. So if you're familiar with Ponte Vedra, you know, check it out.
Yep, absolutely.
Cheers.
Okay, so market in a minute. What is going on right now? There's still, of course, I mean, we've talked about this now, I feel like every episode, but everyone knows it. There is still a stabilization of prices. There are still rate increases going on, and those are fluctuating week to week. But that's, you know, not to say there isn't still ways to purchase right now and that there aren't affordable options. You just have to find out what works for you. And maybe if, you know, right now is not the time for you and there's things to work on, that's why you have someone like Rusty who can help you figure out, you know, if you need to increase your credit score and how to do that, etc. along those lines. But there is also a cost of waiting. So, you know, you may wait right now and say, I'm going to wait till spring and just see how things go. However, that rate could come down, but the prices could go up with seasonality. Everyone knows spring market, prices increase, more inventory comes on, there's more competition. Right now is the time to, if you're really thinking about buying, consider it and see what type of negotiation terms you can get with on the seller, and what possibly your rates look like and how to improve those. So that's kind of what we have going on this week in the market.
All right, so now we're going to do your mortgages in under a minute. So this week we have seen a 30% increase in mortgage applications over the last 3 weeks, which is a great sign. People are still looking to buy or looking to get pre-approved. We're still 80% under this time last year as far as applications are concerned, but we're on a positive track. Even with the rates climbing like they have, we're still kind of moving into like people trying to get into homes. Also, this is kind of what's important about this market. This is why you want to choose a professional, right? This is why you want to use a professional realtor. This is why you want to use the local broker, so that realtor can make sure you're getting the best bang for your buck, and the local broker make sure they're using the right program to save you the most money, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the best rate costs you the most, and
right.
that's a strategy a lot of people don't know. So talk to a local professional. If you're local to this area or state of Florida, hit me up. If you're in this market or in the Chicago market.
Yep, Chicago as well.
Yeah.
Still doing Chicago business. So cool. Thank you.
All right, so this week we wanted to talk a little bit about choosing a professional. In the real estate market especially, you need to use a professional, somebody that knows the market, somebody that knows the business, not like something you found on the internet. Kelsey just actually came from an inspection, so she wanted to talk a little bit about that, what she looks for, and strategies that she has to help kind of gain some traction for you.
Yeah, so I definitely think there's a common misconception. We're going to pause for just 1 second, just for volume purposes. So I definitely think there's kind of a misconception around, you know, using a professional, not using a professional, and what we actually do for you and all the value that we do provide. When you are going through this process, one of those things when you're under contract is a house inspection, and that's probably one of the most important parts of this. I mean, you are investing a lot of your money and a lot of your time and assets into buying a house. And for it to, you know, end up being a money pit, or you're uncovering things as you move in that are costing you more and more money, that just becomes a nightmare, realistically. So one of the things when I'm showing people homes is I won't even let it get to the point of having I've been to over 1,000 inspections. This does not look right. This is not okay. This shouldn't be here. I mean, there's a lot that goes into those things of just experience, of being in the market and seeing multiple homes and knowing that having you spend $500 on an inspection just to find out that you should have never even walked into this house, that's a waste of your time and your money, which is something we as professionals don't ever want to do. You know, we want to make sure this is a good process for you and make sure that you are getting the most out of it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and I think that's really a lot of the importance of like having that professional, right? And that's just why you don't want to use like these online companies that want to do your listings or that will represent you or rent to own or whatever those companies are. This is why you want to use somebody that's in the market every day, right?
Because and absolutely. I mean, with like Open Door, like that's an online one. They're a really well-known company. However, they typically market to sellers because of the fact that they have commissions. However, that is not always the best way to go, because I can tell you from an agent's perspective, when I see Open Door as a listing agent, I automatically know it's going to be terrible because I can't get a hold of anybody, or I'm sent to an automatic menu of like how to try to get a hold of somebody. They aren't like me, who has my phone on from 5 a.m. until 11 p.m. and is answering calls and texts and making you my first priority. They work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. So if you can't get a hold of them during those hours, and that's if you're lucky enough to get through that like automatic menu, you're not getting a hold of them. So, just using someone who's local. Same thing with mortgages. I mean, there's Lending Tree out there and Rocket Mortgage, and there's a lot of online options which may seem easier or better. But we talked a little bit about sometimes the lowest rate can cost you the most. Can you elaborate just a little bit more on that?
So you don't need to know what the marketing or what kind of mortgage strategy that the client needs, right? Like, is it payment? Everybody wants the lowest interest rate. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what's the payment?
Right.
And just because you are getting a lower rate, does that cost you more money out of your pocket at closing?
Right.
Is it worth it? I mean, at what point, do you decide like, okay, well, if I'm spending this, it's going to take me 7 years to recoup that, just based off of this lower rate? Does it make sense financially?
Right.
So that's one thing. She mentioned like Open Door. One thing that I do for my clients is when we place an offer for a pre-approved client, I'll call the listing agent and I'll say, hey, I do my underwriting up front. I've verified income, assets, liabilities. There's no reason why we can't have this thing cleared to close in under 20 days. With Open Door, I've had one of those recently. It's like I call, but there's no one there.
Can't get a hold of anyone.
So you send emails, and you hope that you're getting the same person that kind of knows the property already from like other conversations. But using someone that is professional in the market you're in is the utmost importance for your time and for your money.
Yeah. And real quick before we wrap up, just again touching on using someone who's local. Someone who's local and who's working in this market is going to know if the price that you're paying for this house is truly reasonable. We just went through an insane market of where these prices, like we were seeing them and we were just in disbelief, because you can't even believe that a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that's 1,300 square feet is $500,000. Your mind is blown, right? So now that the prices are starting to stabilize, it's important to be with someone local who can say to you, that's not what the current market supports, and that doesn't make sense anymore, but here's what does make sense, which again, we relate it all back, it's one big circle, to the affordability. So if you're not working with someone who can really help you see all of those strategies and avenues and just completely 110% be advocating for you 150% of the time, then you're probably not really getting the service that you deserve. So as always, we are always around, always here to answer questions, meet for coffee at any of the places that we are checking out. Call us, text us, and we are happy to answer any questions. There's nothing off the table.
7 days a week.
Yep. Have a great day and a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
Bye.